All right, are you thinking about moving to Fort Wayne, Indiana? Well, then you're gonna want to check out this video because a lot of people are asking, can I even afford it? So today we are covering all different types of expenses that you can expect to incur while living right here in Fort Wayne, Indiana and surrounding areas. My name is Caleb Ellington. I'm a local realtor right here in Fort Wayne, Indiana. I service Fort Wayne and all of the surrounding areas. So whether you're looking for a luxury property or maybe you're an investor looking for that perfect property to invest in, we have got you covered. All right, so first of all, we're gonna talk about all the different expenses here in Fort Wayne and can you afford it? So first we're gonna cover groceries and food, something that sometimes you don't really think about when you're moving to a new area. I know my wife has said, I don't really do this, go to the grocery very often, except when, it's like, hey, can you pick up this on your way home? That's what I'm supposed to do, so I do it. But I do know that she has said that definitely groceries have gone up. You have probably seen that in your hometown as well. Inflation, we know, across the country has gone up. So our grocery bill generally, maybe $600 to $700 has probably gone to about $800 to $900 a month. We have a family of 5. So if it's just you and maybe one other person, you can expect to spend about $300 to $400. And then, food costs at restaurants. The restaurants that we generally frequent, we definitely have seen those costs go up as well. And probably for like a meal, $5 each, probably, a meal used to be $17.99. Now it's, $22.99, $24.99, something like that. So you definitely can expect that. If you're like our family, we have pizza on Friday nights. So we have seen that gone up just a little bit from our local kind of pizza chains. If you move here, a secret, Claire's Pizza, Pizza King. If you don't have a Pizza King from where you're from, you're gonna love it. It is the best pizza. It's got the thin crust. They chop up all the toppings very, very small. It's amazing. Don't forget the breadsticks. All right, next, let's talk about gas prices, car insurance, things like that. We do know that our gas, obviously across the country, has gone up. We've been right around that $3.50 a gallon. A year ago, maybe 2 years ago, it was obviously less than that before inflation hit. Now, I do know that that's still at the national average and a little bit below. Clients that we've talked to from definitely the West Coast, their gas prices are $4 or $5 a gallon. So it's kind of nice knowing that, okay, we're moving to Fort Wayne. We are gonna have a little bit more money in our pocket from things like that. Our car insurance, truthfully, really has not gone up that much. Now, we have 4 drivers in our home, so it's a little expensive for us, but when you have a clean driving record like we do, they put our car insurance, our house insurance, they give you a discount for the bundle, things like that. If your kids are good drivers, it's not too bad. So it just depends on how many people are in your home that need car insurance, if you have a good driving record. But ours generally, like for myself, it's about $100 a month, not too bad. Same for my wife. Now my kids are a little bit more just because they're younger. So it's not too bad. So around, I think about $25,000 to $3,000 a year for our car insurance. So once again, if you're a good driver, don't have much to worry about, your car insurance here is probably gonna be what you have from where you're at. All right, now let's talk about one of the biggest expenses, of course, is your mortgage or rent. Now, we mainly focus on people moving here that are buying homes. We do help, we can help you try to find a rental, things like that. But our main focus is people moving here to purchase a home. As you probably know, in your area, mortgage prices have gone up because the cost of housing has gone up. My wife was just looking at our previous home on Zillow last night. When we sold that about 7 years ago, we sold it for about $180,000. It's a 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath home, actually pretty nice. And today it's worth $280,000. So same thing when we bought our home, but the same time ago, it was $280,000 and now it's probably $380,000. So housing pricing has obviously gone up. But when we talk to people just like you from all across the country, that is still a great deal. Most people calling us from across the country, their housing pricing is way more expensive than ours. So Fort Wayne just got ranked once again the #1 most affordable place to live in the United States. And that's basically what I'm talking about here today, all the different expenses, but then of course the major one, which is your mortgage and or your rent. Here's an example. So the median home price right now is about $260,000 here in Fort Wayne. And when you think about, all right, what's $260,000? That's gonna be your 3-bedroom, 2-bath, maybe your 4-bedroom, 2-bath home, right around 15 to 2,300 square feet. Again, generally, that's what the homes are. Obviously, we have luxury homes, and you can get homes that are a little bit cheaper, but you're gonna be looking at definitely a 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath, 3-bedroom, 2-bath home if you're looking to spend less than that. Definitely less square footage as well. Now, when you think about the price of homes here in Fort Wayne, obviously that's hugely affected by the interest rate. Now, a $260,000 home a few years ago might have cost you about $1,000 a month, maybe $1,100 a month for your mortgage. Now, interest rates, here's the good news, have started to come down. So I just saw a low 6 and starting to barely clip the high 5s. Which is great for all of you looking to move here, that you can get a lower interest rate. But again, years ago, that home price, $250,000, was probably $1,000 a month. Right now, at a 6% interest rate, you're gonna be looking at about $1,500 a month. So there is a pretty big increase. That same house years ago was $1,000, now it's $1,500 a month. Many of us, like myself, we locked in at below 3%. So obviously we got a great deal. Our mortgage is really, really low. What also that does is it prevents people like myself really from moving. We are in a place where, we would like to potentially move, get a bigger home. We have 3 children, things like that, maybe more land. I hear that all the time, a house with land. But with the interest rates at 6, it's really difficult for us to give up, our interest rate that's below 3%. So it's really keeping a lot of sellers from moving. But here's the good news. There is still a ton of people that need to move, whether they're downsizing, they had another child, they want to, buy that next bigger house, or they need to, they have to. So there are still a lot of houses for sale, right here in Fort Wayne and surrounding areas. So just need to know that when you're moving here, it is a little bit more expensive, but because of the interest rate, but like I said, it's cheaper than pretty much anywhere in the whole country. But the other thing that you need to think about is this. If you are moving here, maybe you don't have to. Many of our clients that call us from YouTube, they can move anywhere that they want. Just had a great conversation from another family from Vegas. We've already helped 2 people from Vegas in the last few months move right here to Fort Wayne. They're gonna be moving here in a few months, and they're excited to know that they can move, get a bigger house. It's gonna be cheaper than where they're at in Vegas. But the other thing is, if you lock in your rate right now, let's say you lock in at 6%. Let's say the rates go down to 5 again, or maybe in the 4s again. Many people don't really think about this, but you can refinance. We did that. We bought our house. We were in the 5s. I think it was like a year later, interest rates dropped below 3. Well, we refinanced. It's very easy. It cost you about $1,000 to refinance, and our house payment went down about $200 a month. So it was definitely well worth it. So once again, if you're thinking about moving here, thinking about the expenses, mortgage is obviously going to be your biggest expense. Now, thinking about rent. Rent obviously here has gone up quite a bit, to be honest. And there are still quite a few rentals available. Clients of ours, they rented out, this is an expensive home, about a $500,000 home. Their rent was about $2,500 a month that they are receiving. Now, obviously, if you're thinking, there's no way I can afford $2,500, well, that's okay. Home prices maybe in the $250,000, that median home price, probably gonna be anywhere between $1,500 to $1,800. Just depends on the style of home, how new it is, how nice it is. You could be in the 2000s for rent for something like that. But you can find, smaller homes where your rent could be $1,200 a month. Generally, those houses are not as nice. Maybe they need some updates, things like that. So if you're looking to rent here first, before you move, that's what you can expect to spend. Now, many people ask us, I want you to listen here because I think this is important. Many people ask us, Caleb, I think I'm gonna move here, rent first, and then kind of check out the area and then buy. You can do that. My personal opinion, again, this is just an opinion, is I don't think that's wise, and here's why. When you're renting, you are just giving your money away. You're giving your money away to somebody else for them to pay the mortgage. So when you meet with us, we do a Zoom call, we talk on the phone, we meet in person, things like that. We're gonna be able to really help you understand the area, understand the best places to live here in Fort Wayne, whether it's for you wanna focus on, safety, you wanna focus on crime, you wanna focus on the school system, which school system is best for my kids, things like that. We've done this so many times. We're gonna help guide you to the best place or the best websites for you to check out, for you to do, some of that research as well for yourself. So I just encourage you, let's take a little bit more time, find the perfect home for you, the perfect area, so that you can move here. It's your home, you're paying towards your home, you're building equity from day one. All right, next is gonna be your utilities, your gas, your water, your electricity, things like that. Now, we haven't seen just a crazy increase, I would say, but definitely a little bit of an increase, probably around 10 to 15% increase in those bills. So, that electric bill, we just got ours, and our electric bill is always super high in the summer because our air conditioning's running pretty much nonstop. So our electric bill was $250 for the month of July. I'd say last year it's probably like $230. So we have seen a little bit of an increase, and that's about that 10% right there. So, you definitely need to think about that. When you're thinking about moving here and thinking about, okay, how much money am I going to need to be able to live here? What's my salary need to be? What's my dollar per hour need to be so that I can afford living in Fort Wayne? So you definitely need to think about all of those things, your electric bill, your gas bill, your mortgage, your insurance, all of those things come into play. So some people, I'm not this person, but I know a lot of people that are like this. They're gonna get a pad of paper and they're gonna write down how much money am I making? Here's all my expenses. Can I do this? So I think that's probably obviously wise to make sure you can afford before you move here, right? Obviously, when we connect you with a mortgage lender right here in Fort Wayne, a local person, they're gonna be able to calculate a lot of that for you. Generally, your income, if you just wanna be somewhat comfortable here in Fort Wayne and you're looking at that maybe smaller home, under $250,000, you probably need to make $40,000 to $60,000. Maybe if it's just you two or a couple, two people, maybe three. Your mortgage payment, they're gonna calculate, it's gotta be about 35%, or it can be 35% of your income per month. If it's higher than that, then you're not gonna get approved, for much more of a house or a higher priced home. So that's how they calculate it. They're gonna, calculate your income. They're gonna calculate how much debt do you have. So if you have credit card debt, if you have a car note that you're paying on every month, that's obviously debt that you have to pay every month. That's called your debt to income ratio. So they calculate your debt to income ratio, then they're gonna give you a number. Here's the highest priced home that we, will give you a pre-approval letter for that you can buy. So that's always the first step. So when we contact you and you're looking to move here, let's contact that lender, find out what your pre-approval letter is, what's the max that you can afford. Now, you don't have to go for your max. That's okay if you don't want to. You want to be a little bit more comfortable. That's completely fine. Now, if you have a family, if you have children and you're looking for that $250,000 to $350,000, $100,000 home, your income's probably going to need to be in that $70,000 to $90,000 range to be able to afford that comfortably. Now, if you're way above that in your income, obviously you don't need to worry about that. And maybe you're in the luxury market. We're helping some people move here from Chicago. They're in the $1 million range. Obviously, they're not too concerned about some of those things. So definitely think about your mortgage, your interest, all of those different things that come into play. All right, next is gonna be your internet, your phone, things like that. So I hate these bills. I don't know why. They just feel like they're expensive. I think our internet is around $100 a month. That just feels like it's way too much. But you know, we stream a lot, so we need to have good internet. With 3 children, 5 people in the home, you know, kids streaming on their phone, playing video games. My son plays the new college football game. He's streaming, playing people from all over the world. So, you know, our internet bill, around $100 a month. And then we have, of course, our cell phone bill. Now, this can vary greatly depending on which service you get. Now, if you're going for, you know, your Verizons, your AT&T, you're gonna definitely be spending more. Of course, they claim that that service is better. I don't know if it is. I've had T-Mobile for way too long, probably over 10 years, and you know, it's fine. I don't have issues. I can stream on my phone, no big deal. But for our family of 5, it's about $250 to $300 a month. Now, we always kind of use the phones longer. So if you're getting new phones, you already know this, you're paying $40 a month, you know, to lease your phone or whatever. So, you know, you got to think about that as well. How much is my internet going to be? What's our cell phone service going to be? So our internet may be lower. I don't really know from your area, but generally, you know, cell phone service across the country is pretty much the same on what they charge, you know, all over the place. So you got to definitely look into those expenses as well. All right, next is your health insurance. This is the one a lot of people forget about when they're thinking about calculating expenses. Here's the good news about health insurance. It really just depends on your income. You probably already know this, but because of the Affordable Care Act, and actually I have an amazing local person that if you don't have health insurance or you need somebody that can help you, I've got somebody, just contact me. I'll connect you with them. They're amazing. They go into the system, they calculate everything, and they find the best health insurance for you, whether you know you want the platinum plan, the gold plan, the bronze plan, you know, whatever. So here's the thing about the health insurance that is kind of nice. If your health insurance is $800 a month for your family, they're going to calculate, you know, your income. And then most of the time, the government subsidizes your health insurance. So you may end up only paying $100 a month, $200 a month. It is 100% based on your income. Now, if you make quite a bit of money, you're probably not going to get anything, you know, from the government. You're probably going to pay that full ticker price, you know, right on your health insurance. I know for my family, a family of 5, I think ours is around $800 to $900 a month, but we do get a little bit of a break because I'm not a millionaire. So our health insurance actually ends up being less than the full, you know, sticker price, if you will. So that's kind of good to know as well. If you don't have health insurance, that's a good thing to know. A lot of people, you know, it's way too expensive. Well, when you have that subsidy, you know, for your health insurance, it definitely can help it be affordable. Here's the other thing you do need to know about health insurance. I've encountered this. If you're getting a pretty good subsidy on your health insurance, maybe the government is giving you $500 a month, you obviously have to calculate that on your income taxes. That's considered income. Now, if you end up making more, this happened to me once where I said, hey, I think I'm probably gonna make, you know, this much money this year. So they calculate that ahead of time and say, okay, well, you know, your subsidy is gonna be this. If you end up making more than what you project, you do have to pay that back. So, you know, you're gonna end up paying at the end of the year, or your rebate is gonna be way less because you ended up making more. So you have to pay that insurance money back to the government that they gave you. So when you calculate that, try to be right on point. And most people can be, because if you have a job where you're a W-2 employee, you know how much money that you're going to be getting every single week. This is easy. But if you're like me, where you're a salesperson, you know, you make money on commission, man, that can vary, right? From year to year, month to month, it's all over the place. So if you have a really good year, you're gonna pay it back. But, you know, if you have a year that's not as great, you're gonna be perfect. You're not gonna have to pay any of that health insurance back. All right, now that you know how much it's going to cost to live in Fort Wayne, Indiana, are you ready to make the jump? Don't be afraid. We have helped so many people make this huge journey across the country. We would be honored to help you, myself, our whole team. We have done this so many times, it can be a very smooth move and transaction. So feel free to give us a call today, because we hope that you move to Fort Wayne. It's the city we love, and we hope it's your next home.